What's up? It's Established with Angela Yee, and today we're talking to Dallas Austin. So let's get back into it and hear some more incredible behind-the-scenes stories. Let me ask you this, as a head of a label, right? Somebody that people look at and they might say, okay, he's an artist also, he's a creative, you've also been putting out music. How do you still maintain the business side and not be friends with people? Because I know sometimes artists might look at you like, Dallas is cool, that's my homie, but at the same time, it is business. How do you maintain that balance?
Being realistic, because like I said, with artists and people I work with, I'm just very, very blatant honest. Hey man, dollar come in, this what I get, this what you get. I'm gonna spend the money first. This, I've always been that way with everybody. Like even other people, I talk to them about their deals all the time. Or they come to me and say, "What do you think about this?" Because everybody I've been through so much stuff. And Clarence Avon told me, he said, because Clarence is the one who helped me clear all my mess when I was 16. And I tried to pay him once I got the money freed up. And he goes, "You can't pay me, you ain't got no money. You don't know what money is, that ain't no money." He said, "What you gonna do though, is how you pay me back is to make sure that you do this for everybody else. You make sure that you help people out with their contracts. You make sure that you don't screw nobody over. We can't have the black music business being torn up by all of y'all who's in it, against each other." And I just stated that, I stick to that.
Did you, when TLC was going through their struggles, right, with their contract issues and their problems with Pebbles, were you involved in any of that, like giving advice or weighing in or trying to help out?
Yeah, that's when I first started learning about everything, because I was going through my contract stuff, trying to get his stuff with Joyce. And that made me have the first tier of my education when I had to figure out what everything meant. What is work for hire? What is going on? Why is this going on? Why is that going on? And when we were working on the TLC albums, it's crazy. People have to realize that everything was so much more expensive back then. You couldn't go into a studio without paying $2,000 a day.
Even paying for beats was more expensive. You was getting a lot for a beat.
All of us. I mean, we wasn't 100,000 per song.
Right.
And that was the industry standard. Teddy Riley, myself, anybody you kind of worked with at that point. It was also different because we were saying, so first week, are we selling 1 million? Are we selling 500,000? And you selling records at $20 a piece. So, it was a whole different ball game. And when the girls started going through their stuff, it was really ignorance. So like I said, sometimes ignorance is bliss. They tried the right way. They tried to go through the lawyers and work out this and work out that. They kept getting the kickback, whatever. But they'll come in the studio and be like, "They said Mary J. Blige got this. We TLC, we got to go get that." And I'm like, "I don't think Mary J. Blige got." "Oh, yes, they did. Mary J. Blige got $20 million and she got this and that other. So we get that too." So they go up to Arista, jump up and down on Clive. It's like, "Yo, we need this," taking plaques off the walls, taking the girls up there, hanging the phone up and stuff while he's on the phone with Puff. And like that's what got their deal done, because they couldn't talk to him any other way. Like nothing. Sometimes when logic don't make sense, you can't use it, And it was really that ignorance is bliss moment that got Clive and LA and everybody to come to the terms of how to get these girls money and how to get them paid. Problem was that videos cost a lot of money back then too. Everything costs a lot. So if you looked at the balance sheet, you got millions of dollars on there from videos and travel, and it's 3 people. And they don't explain all that stuff to the girls or to artists when they start off, because if you did, they will have a better understanding. Like if you told an artist, like I tell my artists, "Yo, you're gonna go sit in there and rent studio time and eat chicken wings and come up with stuff? No, you're wasting your money. What, you're doing that for 3 or 4 days vibing? Like vibing at home. You go to the studio, go to record. Would you rather throw $5,000 out the window, or do you want to put it in your pocket?" So then they start saying, "Oh, that's how much it costs when you sitting there eating chicken wings all day? Yeah, you're wasting time. You're wasting engineers' time. You're vibing, trying to come up with this, trying to come up with that. Do that at home, or do that in a small studio or somewhere else. But you don't want your balance to be so big that when the check comes, you got to just give it to me."
Right. You got to come in ready to work, knowing what you're about to do.
And I'm like, we're partners in this. I'm not babysitting you. You know what I'm saying? You're grown. We're partners. Let's act like partners from the beginning. This is how it is. This is how it goes. And I've always had a very easy, I sleep good at night relationship with all my artists and all my producers.
Now, you also have Rowdy Records that you relaunched again recently. So originally when you launched that was with Reid. So this time around, is he involved at all, or he doesn't have to be? How does that happen? Did you have to talk to him and say, "Hey, I'm redoing this"?
Nah, when we did Rowdy in '92, I was in Atlanta and LA, the Face had just got here and I just finished the TLC Records and stuff. And Clive was like, we really want Dallas to have a record company. And, and so I was like, nah, I'm not interested in record companies, man. I want to go slam dance. I was really alternative then. And so LA was like, well, why don't you you're always hanging out with these skateboard kids. You're always hanging out with these punk rock kids. Why don't you just start a label and sign that stuff? And I was like, oh, I can do that? I was like, yeah, it'll just be one office in the Face. You don't even have to worry about nothing. You want to just bring your music here. I said, all right, cool. All right, I could do that. So we started off as one office inside the Face. 3 or 4 months later, I got a whole office in New York with 21 people as staff. It was just insane. I was going to New York, getting in my limo, getting out, going up to my office, going in there, shutting the door, opening my window and like smoking because I was so nervous to be in New York City. Because I'm from Atlanta, where I'd never really been up in New York like that to be staying there. And it became like a whole nother life, Giant Steps and 555 Soul and Guru and Jazz Masters and all this stuff was going on in New York. So I started living that life. And I'm doing that because of the sake of Rowdy. Now at this point, I really like Rowdy. I like that I have Karen Beasy doing marketing, and I got alternative department. So I got rock bands, I got hip hop, and I'm starting off like this. I got staff from New York. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. And then LA signed Outkast to LaFace. And when he signed Outkast to LaFace, I'm like, what are you doing, bro? All the rap
That's supposed to be your artist.
Everything's supposed to come through Rowdy, especially something that's Atlanta-based hip hop. And he was kind of like, oh, I didn't think you really liked them. I was like, come on, man, those are my boys. I know them from the skating rink. That's Rico and them. I would not like them. And at that point, I just detected, all right, this is a little BS. I understand. So they had, what happened was Outkast was on a Christmas record, and it broke. Players Ball was a Christmas song first. And when it took off, they took the sleigh bells out of it and made it a record. And at that time, LaFace needed some records because they went in so much debt. So I understood his play in it. But it made me be like, you know what? Why am I in New York City? Clive, I don't want to do this no more. I just want to go back to Atlanta. I don't want to be in New York. I don't want to be running up and down the streets. But, it was great because that's why I started Flip Mode with Busted during that time. But so I said, I don't want to do it no more. And he said, nope, you know what? You're right. I'll back out because it wasn't me in LaFace. It was me in LA. So it was also causing a problem that Face wasn't involved with Rowdy. So LA backed out, and then I was going to back out, but Clive said, nope, you take it, start over. So what do you mean? He said, take it to Atlanta, just start over. I don't want to lose you as an artist here, as a producer here, so just let's wipe this, go to Atlanta and just start over. So I went to Atlanta, and at that time it was crazy because that's when Puff was getting fired from Uptown. And so he called me one day and he goes, man, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, shoot, you should talk to Arista, come where we are. Me and LA is over here. And so by the time we worked it out, I gave him the Bad Boy office as my offices in New York. And I moved to Atlanta and opened Rowdy downtown. And that's when I signed Monica. And I was like, well, I got to sign something that I know that I could do with my eyes closed and prove to Clive that, this is it. So I signed Monica. For the longest, they wanted Monica to be Whitney Houston so bad that they didn't understand that, no, she's 13, singing on the backseat of the Jeep. She can't be Whitney Houston yet. But she was the one I knew would fix the balance and what the company would be, even though I didn't want to sign R&B. I didn't want to sign R&B to Rowdy at all. I didn't want to have anything to do with pop or R&B or Rowdy because I would do that at other places. I felt like I wanted to build this as an alternative label that gave, stuff the difference, the chance, even though it still wanted to be good. So the launch and what we're doing with Symphonic, and kind of just bridging out, making our own way. Everything in Atlanta started just to be so much the same that we were like, well, we got to do something different. Just go for a difference. And with that, you can take risk and everything else, but at least it's something else happening. It's another perspective. So I'm really excited about it. That and Johnny Apollo. I've been putting a lot of records out on it myself. And it's for the next year, it's like poised, man. I'm really stoked. I wish that the corona didn't happen, because of all various reasons of people, passing and stuff. But it's really giving me a chance to get my stuff together, just being at home,
Yeah, so you had some big plans for South by Southwest for the label, but that couldn't happen.
So this year we're going to do it virtually because South by Southwest is doing virtual. That's when I first found out. We were going there to go crazy. And when I saw Facebook pulled out, I said, okay, Facebook is pulling out, this is serious because they got more information on everybody than anybody in the world. So this is going to be a serious issue.